Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're at and what time you see this. This is the Sports Counterpoints podcast, September the 16th, 2025. I'm GB, got Brian and Coop with me. What's up, guys?
Going on?
Man, I need to figure out how to get my background on this new platform. So I got something new, but it's all good.
Yeah, yeah, I
It's all
gotta
good.
I gotta get that situated
I'll
next
show
time
you.
too.
But there's a
Uh
IT person on this podcast, and I can always go to for support. Ain't that right, Brian?
yeah, now that
I remember a few things. Yeah.
now that
It's all
word up,
good.
man. So let's get to it. So we talking NFL. It's NFL season, so that's why we're back to weekly. We'll do NFL, maybe getting some other stuff depending on kind of how much time is left at the end. Kind of just running it down. So I'm gonna start with Thursday, and then we'll jump in our teams, and then we'll go to other games. All right. So
Yep.
Thursday night, Commanders, Packers. Commanders lose 18 to 27. What'd you guys think about that game, man? From what y'all saw?
I'll be quick. Look, Green Bay is a complete team, and Washington isn't. I've had questions about the Lieutenants roster for the last 2 years. I didn't know they had really, really, really old linebackers on their team. Von Miller, I didn't even know he played for Washington. Maybe you guys
Bobby
mentioned it. I
Wagner.
just didn't think about it. But Von Miller's 36, Bobby Wagner's 35, Nick Vallora's 35. And right now their offense isn't good, which is expected because Terry McLaurin missed all of training camp holding out for a contract. So they haven't got that situated. But Green Bay right now is a complete team, and well, and they're pretty consistent. Got pretty much same players from last year, and they just went out there and they handled business, and more importantly, they covered the 3 point spread. Brian, what you think about the game?
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't think Washington's as bad as you do. I do agree with you that their defense is definitely struggling. They gave up 27 points to a Packer offense that's also trying to figure itself out. I think the biggest problem on offense for Washington is that they haven't been able to establish any kind of a running game. The idea here was that Jacory Krosky Merritt was going to be able to get more carries. He only got four in this game for 17 yards. Austin Eckler got eight, and he only got 17 yards. Jaden Daniels got seven. He also only got 17 yards. Total of 51 yards through three players and 19 carries is just not enough to be able to establish a run game, which frees up Jaden Daniel to get downfield. I think that's the major issue. Both weeks, the best that they could do is having Zach Ertz lead them in receiving, and that's also a problem. But Jaden Daniels was a reasonably efficient, although not good. I mean, he was 24 for 42 for 200 yards and two touchdowns. But I think that the defense here is the real problem, and they need to establish a rushing game, a running game. On the Green Bay side, they did what they were supposed to do. I mean, they are a complete team. They do have players on both ends of the field. I absolutely think that getting new players and the effort that they put into it. Micah Parsons is a difference maker. He only had two total tackles in that game, but the fact that there was so much double teaming that freed up other people to do what they do was a huge deal. I mean, they had four sacks in this game. That's impressive. Uh, on the offensive side, Jordan Love was solid, 19 for 31, two touchdowns. It was a solid game. This is kind of what I've started to expect from Jordan Love as his upside. I don't think he's a 400-yard, four touchdown type of guy. I think that what you'll expect is him somewhere around 300, and two touchdowns with no interceptions is good. Two touchdowns with one interception is probably the norm, and two and worse than that is probably not good.
Yeah, with Green Bay, again, the balance, 31 passes, and they had 27 rushes
Yeah,
this game,
and
not counting Jordan
135
Love.
rushing yards on 30
Yeah.
carries. I mean, that's huge.
So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of balance. 50-50 with Green Bay. They don't want to pass too much. They don't want to run too much, but they're playing well so far.
Yeah, they
GB, you
look
watched the game?
yeah, they look pretty good. They
Yeah.
were they looked pretty much well in control the whole time.
Yeah.
Um Jaden just looked like he never really was getting going or got comfortable. So you'll lose. And that the
Mm.
juice from Micah Parsons, man, it's clear. Like him just being on the team and the energy around it, you could see. Like
Yeah.
they're excited about it. They have a chance to do it. But yeah, I mean if they can stay healthy and get through the system, if they can stay without injury and get through the season, they're gonna be tough.
Yeah. Next one.
All right, word. So let's go our teams and then we'll bounce around to the other things because we usually take a little bit more time on our teams. First you got you guys, the 49ers at the Saints. 49ers win 26-21 with Mac Jones. Return to the Mac. at quarterback? What was that like?
Well, look, of course, I don't want to watch Mac Jones play, but I had to. Backup quarterbacks in NFL are pretty much assistant coaches and clipboard holders. But if you can win one game, maybe two, with a backup quarterback, that player has earned his salary. Because no NFL coach wants to play their backup. All of the things that I don't like about Mac Jones were on display in this game, especially lack of arm strength and being off target on some basic routes. But he didn't play terrible, and he made plays within the structure of the offense. I don't think most 49er fans have seen Mac Jones play because I've been talking to a few and they think we can go, without Purdy for a long period of time. But Mac Jones will turn back into Mac Jones, so we don't want to see a lot of them. But I did notice one thing that was kind of funny. New wide receiver Kendrick Bourne looked lost on a few routes, which is understandable because he was just signed about a week ago, so he's still trying to figure it out. McCaffrey still leads the league in touches, leads the NFL in touches. So I'm expecting him to get hurt soon.
Yeah.
But for a team that is not healthy and the 49ers haven't drafted well in the Shanahan Lynch era, that's why we have depth issues. It's a little surprising to be 2-0, to be perfectly honest with you. Currently, the 49ers are a top 10 offense and top 10 defense and tied for first and third down conversion rate. I do not expect that to continue. I think we're going to have some dips, especially next week. We'll get to that later. But on the Saints side, they do have some pieces offensively, and I think that if they had a better defense and a better quarterback, they would have won. But their defense is worse than their quarterback. I think if their defense was a little bit
Yikes.
better, they could have won the game. So, it was a good win for the 49ers. I mean, I'll take it, but, I'm not overly joyed about our status right now as a team. I don't know if you guys watched the game.
Yeah, I didn't get to see
Watched
it.
it, but damn, talk about glass half empty. I mean, there was nothing good about your team at all, and this is a team that, I mean, for Mac Jones, he wasn't great, but he had 113 QB quarterback rating. He was
Yeah, he
26 for
wasn't bad.
39,
Mm-hmm.
279 yards and 3 touchdowns with no
Mm-hmm.
interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
He was the reason that they won that game. Christian McCaffrey only had 55 yards with plenty of carries and 13. And then you were talking about Kendrick Bourne. He only got 3 targets. Guess what? He got 3 receptions. That's not bad for a dude who just got signed. I don't know. I mean, sure, he had every right to be lost, but
Yeah.
Juwan Jennings had 90 yards. Ricky Pearsall had 56 yards. Christian McCaffrey had 52 and a touchdown. I don't know. If I were a 49er fan, I would look at this as, okay, Mac Jones is not the guy you want running your team for a full season, but for a few games, he's proven that he can make the most out of an opportunity. I mean, in a season now where Joe Burrow's out, JJ McCarthy's out, Purdy's out. I know I'm forgetting other people.
Yeah.
And you got a whole bunch of backups in there. And Daniel Jones is the best quarterback so far statistically. Like Mac
Okay.
Jones is not that far off the mark. On the Saints side, I thought Spencer Rattler actually looked kind of decent. I mean, he also
They're
had
three
three
TDs.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
Um, they clearly haven't gotten to a point where they fully trust him because he only got 34 attempts and for 207 yards. But Alvin Kamara, people made that man, they called him washed. And he showed that he could still run hard, 99 yards. A lot of that was between tackles, which was impressive. And generally speaking, I didn't expect this from the Saints. I thought they would get blown out even with Mac Jones on the other side. So they showed some signs of life. I know they're 0-2, and they're not going to be good this year. But I also don't believe that they're the worst team in football,
Yeah.
which is what I thought before the
I agree.
season.
Yeah.
They
Sure.
showed that they're a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
There are plenty of teams that look not only lost but also incompetent,
Yeah.
and I didn't see that from the Saints.
Yeah, they're better than Carolina. I will give you that. But the defense actually won that game in the end, Brian. I'm not sure if you watched that last stands, but the defense won again. They
Yeah,
saved us again.
that's what we
But
expect from that's
yeah.
what we expect from the
Yeah.
San Francisco
Mm,
defense with all that
yeah.
money that they've
And with
spent on him.
Warner there, yeah. Word. All right. So back staying with our teams, Falcons, Vikings. Falcons win 22-6. B.
The Vikings just got pants, man. I mean, they looked so bad from the very beginning of all of this to the very end. I feel fortunate that they even got 6 points. Not that it matters. Those 6 points were completely irrelevant. So you got JJ McCarthy, who got 2 interceptions, and yet right now I'm supposed to feel bad about the fact that he's got 2 to 4 weeks on the shelf because of a high ankle sprain. Now, I obviously think that we need to figure out how to get this kid working, because if we don't, that's a lawful lot of faith we put in him. But right now, I'm perfectly okay with going in against the Bengals and their backup, Jake Browning, their backup
Yeah.
quarterback, with Carson Wentz, who is always been good in spots. He's not good for money games, but I think he can help win. Um, we also put Aaron Jones on IR this week after he got hurt. Now Jordan Mason's the only running back, which is not a bad thing. But losing to the Falcons was unexpected. They did not play well. I mean, Michael Penix came out of the game with 135 yards, zero touchdowns, zero interceptions, and played the whole game. Bijan did what Bijan did, but the defense looked like it had a chance for a while. Um, the offense on the Vikings looked like they never gave us an opportunity to win any game, let alone this one. And I do not think the Falcons are all that good. But man, we've just played so horrible across the board. This is one of those things where if you're the coach, you almost just ball up this film and throw it away and say, you know what, play better next week and
Yep.
move on.
Yeah. Look, this game was kind of boring. I fell asleep for a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie, but I did see enough of
Yeah.
this game. Like I saw McCarthy skip a pass to Justin Jefferson. I saw he had Naylor open and missed him badly. It just felt like because my whole thing watching Minnesota is just watching McCarthy because the rest of the roster's fine, but it
It's
felt like
awful.
he felt like he had no control over the football, like major accuracy concerns. The coaching with Minnesota, I have no problem with. I think the defense played well, and I think the play calling was fine. But if the quarterback can't make passes or basic throws, then you're pretty much Indianapolis with Anthony Richardson. Kevin O'Connell, he has to be positive and sound positive, but I'm sure he's concerned, which would be natural. For Atlanta, they're kind of boring to watch too because Penix is a deep ball thrower. He has a really good deep ball, especially watching him play in college. Man, he's just throwing them up, but they don't have deep play receivers on Atlanta. There's no Tyreek Hill on this team. Pitts is more of a slant guy, and London is a little bit more of a over the middle guy. But I don't think much of Atlanta just because they won this game. But I still would take probably Minnesota again if these two teams played, and they might be better off with Carson Wentz. I don't know, but I didn't know that Carson Wentz played for 6 teams in the last 6 years. I did not know that. I didn't know he's
Yep.
been on that many teams. But I fully we'll talk about it later. But I fully expect Minnesota to win their next game. But yeah, that's how I felt about this game.
Bring in the Kirk Cousins talk.
Oh man, he was
If Kirk
there too.
Cousins was ever going to get a trade,
It'd
it's
now be
right
it.
now. There are
Yeah,
4 or 5 teams that have playoff aspirations
yeah.
that are losing. Like if you're the
The
Bengals,
Bengals,
Bengals, yeah.
yes,
who
the
are going to
Bengals.
be who are going to go the rest of their season without their chucker and
Yeah,
Burrow, basically 3 months. Why wouldn't you make a play at him?
right.
If you're the Vikings and you need somebody who knows the offense, why wouldn't you make a play at him? If you're now
Yeah,
worried about McCarthy and he's now hurt for 2 to 4 weeks, which is more likely before. If you are, there's so many teams that hurt right now that if you're the Falcons, you are thinking, okay, this might be our opportunity to get the most out of it. At the
yeah.
same time, they have quarterback worries because Penix looked awful this week.
Mm. I didn't get to see
Well,
the game, so a lot of the stuff you said, I think, is a good segue to our game. Um, Can't make basic passes. You're gonna have a tough time. Quarterback play is key. All of that. I think Raiders lose to the Chargers last night, 20-9 in Las Vegas. I don't think they said the sixth matchup with Harbaugh and Carroll on Pete Carroll's birthday. Raiders just look pretty lifeless from the jump. They were fighting in the end, but they just could
yeah.
not
They
get
they
over
fought.
the hump, man. That first pass being a pick is always a concern. I mean, as anybody who, I've obviously played no pro football, but as someone that plays Madden, etc., you throw that first pick, you got to settle in real quick. It happens, you could throw a pick six real quick. Okay, cool. Let me settle in and get to it. And they fought, but they just could not get over the hump. I thought the Chargers defense looked good. I mean, playing, a very solid zone that was made it difficult. Their players were flying around. They did what they were supposed to do. Like to me, they just look like a well-coached veteran team that does what well-coached veteran teams do. They maintain the ball, you run, you throw when you need to, you make sure you get your points out of the drives, stop the other team, slow them down. That's exactly what happened. So, I mean, they lose. I had plenty of stats pulled up and hate I had for the quarterback for the Chargers. It's foolish. We lost the game. We got cooked. It is what it is. I ain't even going. He gets to win. Um, fine, fine and dandy. I'm not sounding alarms or anything. I think people got to remember, especially from a Raider fan perspective, this is a brand new team, 2 games into a new season with an entirely new regime, new ownership, new GM, new coach. I know it's Pete Carroll and Spy Tech, et cetera, and we have high hopes. And Gino, who's a veteran, but this is a team that still hasn't figured out. I mean, you got a lot of rookies that are playing prominent roles, and Deontay Thornton at wide receiver. You got Ashton Genty as your starting running back. Your O line is in flux. D line is pretty solid, and defense was actually not terrible, but we just got a lot of things that they got to fix over time. So, I mean, I didn't expect it to be an undefeated season. Chargers are a year into the Harbaugh regime, and they know what they're doing, and they look like it. So, Raiders lose. I don't know what y'all thoughts were.
P?
Well, I was waiting for you to say it. Herbert actually looked a little better than you would have expected. Something positive when you go for 2 touchdowns and 242 and a 122 quarterback rating.
He had less than Mac
Um,
Jones. I'm not
he had
impressed,
less
man.
than Mac Jones.
Yeah,
But
not
that's what
less
he had 2
TDs, less
touchdowns.
yards. Yeah, less TDs and less yards.
Mac Jones is not a good
They
quarterback.
didn't
But go
need the
ahead.
more yards because he was 19 for 27. The man only missed 8 passes, had a
Yeah.
122 rating.
Hey.
Anyways, the bigger problem I think was obviously Gino. You can't throw 3 picks. Gino has made an entire career not off of being great, off of managing games and not doing what he did this week for teams, and that's throwing 3 picks. You can't win a game when you throw 3 picks. Period. You can't establish an offensive rhythm. You can't do any of those types of things when you throw 3 picks. And as somebody who has him in Fantasy League, I'm obviously rooting for him.
Yeah.
But you just can't. You, no matter what Herbert did or didn't do, the game was over because Gino just didn't show up that night. And I don't expect that to happen regularly. I
Yeah.
really do think Gino is a average plus player and usually manages a game quite well and doesn't put you in position to lose games based off of his play. But in this case, he did.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jason.
Well, on the Chargers side, watching the Chargers for the second week in a row, they are a physical team. I'm still skeptical of their offense, but Justin Herbert he's making it work. Since linking up with Harbaugh, I just read this. He has 28 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in the regular season. Quentin Johnson is looking like a viable receiver after 2 games. The running back I
I
like.
agree.
No, he's actually killing it. Yeah. The running back I liked out of North Carolina, Hampton. I liked him coming out of the college, but he seems kind of slow to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just
Yeah.
me, but
Got
he
to get
seems a
used to
little
the pro
slow.
game. Yep.
Khalil Mack injury is big. If he's out for a significant period of time, I do expect people to run on that team and score more points against that defense. On the Raiders side, I remember Geno Smith famously said haters wrote him off, but he didn't write back. I'll have to tell Gino it ain't hating when we seen you play for a long period of time against below average teams and then good teams. The Chargers had a severe quarterback advantage, and in primetime games, Gino just hasn't been good. You guys can look all that up. He's not horrible. But like I said, I never got the Geno is good crowd. He's going to turn back into Geno Smith. That's just what he is. Last year he had 23 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. This year he has 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions. And how some Raider fans I know talk about Geno's, how some 49er fans are talking about Mac Jones. They're going to turn back into themselves. But off of that, I saw that Brock Bowers was hurt. Didn't know that. I
Yeah, they
like to
got hurt in the
watch.
first game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like to watch games with the sound down so I don't hear all the nonsense hype about players. When I finally turned the sound up, I heard the commentator say the Raiders need to get Brock Bowers the ball or find a way to give him the ball or something like that. And I'm watching the game, I'm thinking Bowers has a knee brace on. Are we watching the same game that y'all watching? Because he's clearly banged up and not the same effective player that he usually would be. Lastly, I didn't know this. I just looked it up today. I was looking up Ashton Genty's stats. He only has 30 carries for 81 yards this season,
Yep.
2.7 yards a carry. Like I said, I root for him. I hope he does well. I really have nothing against him, but the hype on him coming out of college, comparing to Barry Sanders and all this, was always ridiculous. He's now on a good team. He has to figure his way out, just like a lot of players on that team. And like you said, Glenn, it's a work in progress team. I think the Raiders will figure it out eventually, and I don't expect them 2 years from now to be the same team they are now. I expect them to be a lot better. But it's just a loss. You still got 15 or 14 more games to go, 15, whatever.
I
It's
expect
one
two
game.
weeks, 2 weeks to be better, but we'll see. I think it's gonna be a hell of a week of practice because them fools is gonna be salty because they know they didn't show up. So, yeah. All right. So let's run through some other games, man. I'm gonna just throw them
Yeah.
out. You guys jump in if you want. New York Giants 37, Cowboys 40 in overtime on Sunday.
I guess it's on me. I'll go quick. Look, Russell Wilson ain't good no more, but it was enjoyable to watch him
Let's
play
say the
three
boy threw
flies up.
450.
He ain't good anymore, but it's good. It was enjoyable to watch him play three flies up with Malik Neighbors. I don't know what that Giants linebacker was doing though in
This guy's
zone
funny.
coverage on that play before the game time field goal. All he had to do was move over a yard or two, and Dak Prescott would have never completed that pass. But what's crazy about that field goal, be my last point. I don't know anybody that thought that 64-yard field goal would not be made. I think everybody knew he was going to make that to send that game to overtime, and he did. And it looked like it could have been good for 70, but it was a good win for Dallas and a lot more entertaining than I thought it would be. What about you, V?
So I actually thought this was a lot of fun to watch, and
Yeah.
I think I think those of you, I mean that because you just said it, so that think Russell Wilson's career is dead, are going to be proven wrong. Now, Joe Flacco had a resurgent year. I think this is Russell Wilson's kind of opportunity to do the same because 450 yards
Come on.
in a stadium by yourself is impressive.
Come on.
Robio Dunn's, players, sorry, Malik Neighbors, players did an amazing job. Robinson, amazing job. But the ball has to get there for them to be able to catch it. And if he threw for 50 yards, it would have been all about how he was inaccurate, couldn't get the ball to the great wide receivers. When he does it, I also want to praise him. The 450 yards and 3 touchdowns is pretty darn impressive. Hats off to him. In a losing effort, Dak Prescott on the other side only had 2 touchdowns and 361 yards. Again, also impressive. I think my takeaway from this, and so I'll just be brief on this. I think my takeaway on this is the Giants were also a team that I expected to be horrible, amongst the worst. And they are also 0-2, but I think they showed that they're not the worst team in football. Eventually, we'll have to talk about who is, but they're another team that was, written off as one of the worst 2 teams, probably a battle for it between New Orleans and them before the season in most people's playbooks. And they were impressive. But we'll see how it goes in the weeks in the future.
They're still bad.
They're still bad. I said
funny,
they're
bro.
not the worst team in football.
They're probably not the worst, but they're still
that's
bad.
a pretty
That's a
low
lot of-
bar to get underneath.
Yeah, I hear you.
So
I hear
it's a
you.
lot of points to put up. 450 yards and 3 TDs is still a hell of a damn day. But
Right, it is. I mean, it was good to see it, but I saw
Put it
it
this
last
way.
week too. But it was good to see it.
Everyone after week 1 was like, get Jackson Darts in there immediately. Everyone
Yeah.
after week 2 was like, let's
Yeah.
see what Russell Wilson can do
Right.
next.
Right, that is true.
yeah.
That
All right,
is
so I'm
true.
gonna keep running them down. You guys jump in if you want. Seahawks lose. Seahawks beat the Steelers 31-17.
Go ahead, B.
You don't have to. Don't
Aaron
feel like you
Rodgers
do this on
can't
every
lose
game
enough
either.
for me. I mean, I'm super
Yeah.
conflicted with him being on a team that I want to root for because I like Mike Tomlin.
Yep.
But you want to talk about people who reverted to their norm. Aaron Rodgers did that this week.
Yeah, the Steelers was the sucker bet of the week. Aaron didn't throw a pass past 20 yards last week against a bad Jets defense. Seattle's defense, they are physical. They play hard, and them boys hit. Steelers still can't run. They got to play New England next week. If they can't blow them out, I don't see how anybody can say that they don't need a new coaching staff because they made Justin Fields look like an NFL quarterback last week, and Sam Darnold looked like a good quarterback this week. Team is not good. Next
All
game.
right. And don't feel like you got to everyone. If you ain't got thoughts, don't. You know what I mean? Like, don't feel like I'm just literally going down the scores.
Hmm.
Rams 33, Titans 19.
I got nothing to say about that team except the Rams 9-0 against everybody. Last 11 games, 9 wins. The only 2 against the Eagles. The Rams are kind of killing it, and they're just making things happen.
Bills beat the Jets 30-10.
B.
I'm good.
I was gonna say, yeah.
No, I got nothing. I got
All
nothing.
right. Patriots beat the Dolphins 33-27.
I'm happy about that. Go ahead.
You got to bet on that. Jaguars lose to the Bengals 27-31, but the Bengals lose Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I'm pissed off about that game. I actually watched that game because I said I'm gonna take Jacksonville +4. They lost by 4, but Browning threw 3 interceptions, and Jacksonville could not take advantage. I don't know if you guys watched the game, but Travis Hunter was getting
I
ate up
didn't get
by
to.
Jamar Chase, and
Yeah.
Travis Hunter was not in the game on offense. So I don't think he's going to be. It could be a wasted draft pick. He was not in the game on offense. So, and I'm out on Trevor Lawrence. He kind of flipped off his head coach after he threw a bad pass. So it's whatever.
Yeah, they got to see.
For me, I think that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I expect Travis Hunter to get cooked by Jamar Chase. Go ahead.
Yeah, for me, Joe Burrow going down is probably the most impactful injury so far this season
Yep.
of all the ones, and there's been a bunch. I mean, losing him, one, for 3 months, but two, you know, it's hard for a team to lose a player to turf toe,
Mm.
for that long. And I now, after reading and watching some things, understand what the injury is, but it is a hard thing to lose your player for that long to something. People are like, "Oh, it's because it's O-line." Like, O-line has nothing to do with turf toe. Turf toe is a completely different thing. It's basically that you snap the ligaments when stretching your big toe too far. Um, it's really unfortunate. Jake Browning played well, but that was against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I do not expect him to be able to do that. Although, if you have to throw a ball to somebody in this game, and it's not Justin Jefferson, then it should be Jamar Chase. He can make any quarterback look a lot better than they are. I would fully expect that they are one of the teams that go and look at Kirk Cousins for the long term as a result of this injury. Anyways, and it's just truly unfortunate. Yes, I have him in every single one of my fantasy leagues, so every single one of them just turned into dust. But at the same time, I'm just bummed because outside of the NFC North, this was the best division in football because of the Bengals, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Steelers. So
Not the Bills.
not the Bills, sorry.
Yeah, Bengals. It's the Browns.
Browns.
I don't know if you can have a good division with the Browns in it, but I get
speaking
you.
of, Browns lose to the
Why?
Ravens. Browns lose to the Ravens 17-41.
I did not watch this game.
I actually did watch all of this game in there. I'll just say this. Lamar Jackson is a hell of an underrated football player, and that's a lot to be said about somebody who's MVP. Yeah, especially you one of the people underrated him. Like
he's underrated.
He made great throws, not just ran around and did all that. He had four touchdown passes, and he hit people in the right spots at the right time, made the right reads. People don't think that he's a chucker or he could throw the ball. But that's exactly what he did here. And he won this game, right? They only had 45 yards rushing. He won this game.
He's playing Cleveland. You're counting this game?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cleveland, aren't you the one that said last year talked about how talented their defense is? But now they got cooked with that same talent.
That was last year.
They have a talented defense this year too.
No, they are double-digit underdogs the first 2 weeks of the season. That hasn't happened in decades. They're bad
because they can't keep up with anybody. Anyways, point is underrated. Lamar Jackson, and he was
underrated.
The MVP.
If Herbert
for all
had
you
that
listening, remember that boy can pass.
If Herbert had that game or the game that Wilson said, I'd have been like, damn, he went crazy. That's all I'm saying.
MVP. Okay.
But we like Herbert.
He was the MVP. That's not the argument.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Hey,
well, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I know.
Bears lose to the Lions 21-52.
Now, did y'all watch this game? This was a game to watch.
I did not watch this game.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Detroit looked like they wanted to stick it to Ben Johnson, and they did.
They
I'm
asked Ben Johnson that question.
Well, they did. I didn't know that. And I'm telling you right now, Chicago ain't about to have a lot of patience with Caleb Williams. I said a couple weeks ago, Tyson Badgett might get some run. He's going to get some run. And I have to bring this up. Somebody brought this up to my attention, a USC fan. In April 2024 podcast, I mentioned 5 reasons why Caleb Williams has a better chance of being a bust than being a great player. I mentioned 5 things. And And the number one thing I said, he ad libs way too much. You have to play within structure in the NFL, and he's not doing it right now. And I think Ben Johnson's getting pissed off. I'm not gonna go through all the other things, but I don't expect Caleb Williams to last long. I think Badger's going to get some run mid-season. He's good on script first couple of quarters, but after that, it's not good, not good at
Fair
all.
enough. Colts beat the Broncos 29-28. Colts are one of the hottest teams offensively in the league with no punts all season.
Y'all watch this game?
I did. I saw
Yeah,
that.
did. I had it in a split window.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
love
go
to
ahead.
see it.
Talk
Love
about
to
it. I mean, I
see it.
saw it too, but y'all talk about it first.
I mean, the Colts are finding out ways to win. Um, I loved it because I'm anti my whole division, so seeing the Broncos lose was
Right,
hilarious.
right.
Especially to the Colts, who people are pretty much counting out. Daniel Jones had 316 yards and one TD. Bo Nix threw for three TDs on 200 yards. So, but they lose. Go
Yeah,
Colts.
I will say this was a hard fought game on both sides. I think
Yeah,
J.K. Dobbins showed his worth even as somebody who it was kind of also like, let's add some experience to the team. But he was the guy who was handling the rock, running strong, running hard, scored that touchdown. Bo Nix was doing his thing, being efficient. 22 for 30 for 206 may not be what you want when you get 30 attempts. You want 300 yards or something more like that. But, 3 touchdowns, was efficient and made it happen. And then hats off to the Colts, who
sit
just
back.
for 2 weeks have looked really good. Jonathan Taylor is leading the league in rushing yards and just looks like he's healthy. I think is the word. It's been a while since he's been healthy, and he is healthy and he looks healthy right now.
Yeah, to me, Denver gave the game away. Bad penalties against the Colts. They couldn't get no pressure
I'm
on Daniel
telling y'all.
Jones. They got one sack on him, but Denver can be passed on. I mean, they just didn't look good. And getting Dre Greenlaw and Hufanga from the 49ers sure hasn't helped them, at least not yet. For the Colts, I think Glenn, you mentioned they haven't punted once this season. Head coach Shane Steichen, a guy I'm a fan of, got the best season ever out of Jalen Hurts. Looked like an idiot when he had Anthony Richardson, but now he looks smart again with Daniel Jones, who's not an upper echelon quarterback, but Daniel Jones is playing pretty good and looks like he's going to be the next quarterback story. I mean, we've had Geno Smith, we've had Baker Mayfield, we had Sam Darnold last year. Looks like he might be the next quarterback story this year and probably save some jobs in Indianapolis.
Definitely. Panthers lose to the Cardinals 22-27. Bryce Young
Yeah.
threw three TDs. Eagles Chiefs. Eagles win 20-17.
Brian, hello?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
we got
Brian,
you.
you want to start that? Eagles
sure.
Chiefs?
Better team
Yeah.
won.
Yeah.
I mean,
We both had them.
Yeah, the better team won. Patrick Mahomes was kind of his normal early season self, where he was trying to do something late, and it looked like he had an opportunity to. But overall, if you look at his numbers, he was not good. There were so many other better quarterbacks this past week, and the better team ultimately won. Uh, this was not a great game. But
Mm-mm.
if it wasn't for the fact that if you put two other teams with this 2017 score and they did everything the same, their quarterback did this, their quarterback did that, we would not spend 30 seconds on this. But because it was a
Yeah.
rematch of a Super Bowl, obviously it was a must-watch game, but it was not
Yeah.
interesting or exciting in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, Philly is a boring watch. I mean, Jalen Hurts passed for 100 yards. AJ Brown got 35 yards receiving. Hurts has no touchdown passes this season, but they're kind of built like Nick Saban's Alabama team, where you can have mediocre quarterback play, but the surrounding personnel is just so good that you can still win some games. I don't know about you guys, but I think the tush push is going to get banned. I know they were voting on it last season, and Howie Roseman, the GM, and Jason Kelsey were able to flip some votes, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think it's hard to call penalties. I think I saw some false starts that weren't called, and I just think that play is going to be banned. On the KC side, only thing that's working over there is Mahomes. They can't run the ball. Kelsey is dropping passes. I said last week he doesn't look the same running routes. The offense is not explosive. It might be when Worthy and Rashid Rice get back, but uh, to me, when I watched KC, I just kept thinking to myself, if Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson can't make the Super Bowl this year, then win. I don't care about stats and MVPs. It seems like this is the year that KC can be overthrown and one of those two guys make it to a Super
Gotta
Bowl,
do it.
but we'll see.
Yep.
Right now, Mahomes looks like the third best quarterback in his own division.
Thanks. That's tough. All right. Buccaneers Texans, man, this was a good game. 20-19. Buccaneers win again. That boy Baker Mayfield, he's who you
Yeah.
want
Chuck,
Justin Herbert to be.
Yeah, look, Tampa Bay, man. Baker's run on 4th and 10 late in the fourth quarter. That was the absolute biggest play in the game. They have a running back named Bucky Irvin. He's underrated. He was good last year
Who's
too.
cooking?
And Baker got hit hard this game and kept getting back up. So credit to him. This is like the best he's ever been in his career right now, being in Tampa Bay. On the Houston Texans side, they had the lowest odds to win their division of any division winner this year. And watching this game, you can clearly see why and why I picked Jacksonville to win the division. For a team that hangs its hat on defense, this was a bad loss. Houston overachieved a couple years ago during C.J. Stroud's rookie year, but C.J. ain't been the same since. They fired last year's offense coordinator, hired a new one that hasn't helped. They got Nick Chubb, who was done as soon as he got injured with Cleveland. That hasn't helped. They can't run the ball still. CJ's missing open guys just like last year's, overthrowing some guys, throwing behind some guys. Something is off. He's just not accurate. People love to anoint a quarterback after one decent season, unless you're Brock Purdy, but something is clearly off with CJ Stroud. And I don't know how Houston's going to look the rest of the year, but they got to figure something out offensively because it's just not good. I don't know what you think, B.
I just like the Buccaneers and how they're playing football. They're one of those teams that if you were to pick a team that's going to find a way to be competitive every single week, I would tell you that the Tampa Bay might be that team right now. The only other thing I would say is Egbuka, the rookie wide receiver,
Yeah.
is absolutely proving that he is the next of, he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be in the Chase conversation, the Justin Jefferson conversation, and some of these other guys, Neighbors, Dunze, whatever. He just catches touchdowns. Like he finds ways to catch touchdowns. He only had 4 receptions. Guess what? The first one of which was for a touchdown, and he had, I think, 2 the week before. He's very good.
He
Yeah.
dropped one today, but he's still good. I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
That boy Baker, talking about them quarterback stories, man, resurgence.
Yeah.
Bro's a gamer, man. Like he makes winning
He's
plays.
fine. He's always
He
in the
makes
conversation and
winning
always
plays.
competitive. They might lose, they might win, but
Yeah.
competitive.
Well, you
He's
could,
always a reason.
you could tell he's a lot more mature in his play. He's gotten slimmer. He's actually been playing well since he got to Tampa Bay. Seriously, I mean, that's just how. Yeah, Cleveland not so much, but Tampa Bay definitely.
He won a playoff game in Cleveland too after they had him for years. But all right, so this week, all right, so we're running it down. We probably got like 20 minutes. All right, so keep that in mind. So Dolphins play the Bills on Thursday in Buffalo.
Pass. Go ahead.
This is easy. Buffalo's going to win.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. Bengals play the Vikings in Minnesota.
B.
Take the Vikings. They're Minnesota minus 3.5. I'm going to still take the Vikings. I actually think that Carson Wentz. This is a battle of backup quarterbacks. If I had to pick Carson Wentz for 1 week with KOC making the play calls versus Jake Browning making and that team making the play calls, I would take the Vikings. I'm not optimistic. I'm certainly not over here trying to predict that that this is going to be a resurgent Vikings team at this point. But I think the Vikings win this week.
Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings. I didn't know that Jake Browning. I didn't know people in the NFL thought Jake Browning was an NFL quarterback. So I was surprised to see him actually playing in an NFL game. So I'm definitely taking the Vikings.
Texans at Jaguars.
Texans at Jaguars. Brian, who you got?
Hey, don't feel obligated to pick all these games either. We can skip. I'm just throwing
No,
them out.
I'm picking too.
Yeah.
I'm taking Jacksonville after what I've seen from Houston.
Yeah,
me too.
I think the Texans just have nothing going.
Yeah,
All
after
right.
I saw what happened in Houston, I'm taking Jacksonville.
Colts at Titans.
Okay, I'll start with this one. I'm going to take the Colts because the Titans have issues. They have wide receiver issues, catching the ball issues, and coaching issues, and protection issues. So I'm taking the Colts.
Until we figure out what's wrong with the Colts and what's right with the Colts, I'm going to take the Colts.
Yep. Raiders at Commanders. We don't know if Jaden Daniels is playing or not, but both teams coming off a loss.
Yeah, the spread assumes that Jaden Daniels is going to play because it's Washington minus 3.5. If Jaden Daniels is there, I'm absolutely taking the Commanders.
Yep.
If he's not there, it's more of a pick 'em, and I think the Raiders have a puncher's chance.
Yeah, it's all on Jane Downs. If he
Agreed.
plays, they win. If they don't play, if he doesn't play, I'm taking the Raiders to win.
All right. Rams at the Eagles on Sunday morning.
But Rams' defensive line is too small. Philly just always runs on them. That's why Philly beats them. So it's not going to be no different. Same players as last couple times they played. I'm taking Philly.
But take the Rams.
Oh.
It's -3.5, so I get a field goal. I think this might be a close game. Eagles haven't been blowing anyone out in a long time, and the Rams have just found ways to be in there. Jason, you gave the stat. They haven't lost much and too many, so
Only to Philly. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
only team.
Falcons are at the Panthers.
I don't think anybody cares about that one. Go ahead.
All right, Steelers at the Patriots.
Steelers can't blow them out. I mean, I would not take New England, but if the Steelers came, it's only a 1.5 point spread too, Brian. If Steelers can't beat New England, I'm sorry. It's change the coaching staff. Seriously, you should have did that 3 years ago, but it should be a blowout.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. But yeah, I would take the Steelers.
Packers at the Browns Sunday morning.
Oh, that's the game.
By a lot.
Okay.
Jordan Love's probably gonna have a career high game against them.
Jets at Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay -6.5. I mean, look, I'm going to take the Buccaneers. I just told you why. There's no team that knows how to figure these things out like they do right now. They're exciting to watch.
Is
Here's
Justin
John.
Fields the quarterback? Then I'm taking Tampa Bay.
We don't know yet.
Oh.
He might be injured too. Broncos are playing Broncos playing the Chargers. Y'all's favorite quarterbacks head to head on Sunday afternoon. Who y'all got?
Chargers.
I'm taking the Chargers because Denver is on the road. If Denver was at home, I would take them, but I'll take the Chargers.
All right.
Chargers just a better team in my opinion right now.
True.
Saints at the Seahawks Sunday afternoon.
Saints at Seahawks. So I'm taking the Seahawks. Them boys hit. Yeah.
Okay. Cowboys at the Bears. Make sure y'all watch that.
I'm taking the Bears.
Cowboys.
Oh, there we go.
The Cowboys.
Okay, I'm taking the Bears.
Chicago's favorite here.
They are.
I just don't think Chicago.
They're
has
in
anything
Chicago.
going.
Well, they must be in Chicago. Yeah. I'm taking the Bears.
Yeah. All right. Cardinals at 49ers. What's going on with that, Coop?
I'm taking the Cardinals. If Mac Jones plays, I'm taking the Cardinals. Mac Jones turns into Mac Jones this game.
I don't know about the Cardinals defense to have any opinion on it, but you know better than me.
I'm
It's
going
at
to take
Levi's.
the 49ers. This is odd where I'm going to take his team and he's not, but I'm going to take the 49ers because Kyle Murray is susceptible to playing poorly against good defenses, and the 49ers defense can expose quarterbacks in those situations, in my opinion, and that gives them an advantage. Plus, they're also at home.
Mac Jones throws one or two picks this game.
They got a tough time with Kyler Murray running on them fools. Chiefs at Giants Sunday night.
Yeah, okay, I'm taking the Chiefs. That was one game for Russell Wilson.
I'm taking the Chiefs because they're playing the Giants. I don't think the Giants are that bad, but I do think the Chiefs are better than the 0-2 record than they have. So this is where they get on the good side. Also, the KC spread is 6.5. I mean, Giants might actually be able to beat the spread. They just won't be able to win the game.
All right. And then Monday night, man, it's a good matchup, a Super Bowl matchup I was hoping for last year. Lions versus Ravens in Baltimore.
B?
Taking Baltimore.
Both these teams ain't making the Super Bowl this year. I'm taking Baltimore too.
Oh, well played, guys. That was quick and easy. So that's it. Last couple segments. Game ball, if you have one. Coop came up with the segment. It's for excellence in sports or elsewhere. Coop.
Oh, shoot, a game ball. I forgot all about that. Skip me right now. I think I might have one.
I'll start.
You got one? Yeah.
Yeah, mine goes to Quentin Johnston. He has been outstanding. He got 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was the thing is that I want to split the game ball with Keenan Allen, who was basically considered, also their guy running routes, but he's got 129 yards and the 2 touchdowns and has looked very good and effective. Those 2 wide receivers deserve my game ball because I think they're outperforming the expectations. Everyone was expecting Ladd McConkey to just blow up this year, and those other 2 guys were only supposed to do enough to make sure they couldn't double team Ladd, and instead they've been kind of the focal point of the passing offense for the Chargers, who have played well.
I'm gonna give mine to the Green Bay Packers. They've been playing well the first couple of games. Of course, you never want to peak too early in the season, but they've been doing what they're supposed to do, handling business. they had a little trouble putting away Washington, but they ended up getting done in the end. They have balance. They got a lot of juice right now with Micah Parsons, so I'm gonna give it to the Green Bay Packers.
Okay. Man, I ain't got one. I'm skipping. Hogwash, which Brian made. Anything that you feel like is a bunch of hogwash right now? What y'all got?
B.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna the hog. What is hogwash is twofold on both sides of this, and that's the conversation around Caleb Williams. We got people who are selling him down the river 2 weeks into the season, and we got people who also wanted to believe that he was going to be, great because of who he was. The one
Oh, we
Caleb
lost you.
Williams was going.
Oh, wait,
We
Brian, say it again
yeah,
because you
we
cut
lost part of
it.
you.
We lost you.
Yeah,
Yeah, do it
it's
again.
Caleb Williams.
Okay.
On both sides of it, you got people who want to sell him down the river because he's had bad 2 games, and then you got other folks who still think he's going to be great. It's not. Caleb Williams never had a chance. We talked about this before he even got drafted. I said if he goes to Chicago, it is over for him and his career until he goes anywhere else. You cannot be a good quarterback in Chicago. Todd Pageant, I don't care. Aaron Rodgers. I don't care if you put anyone. You put Hurts. You could put Mahomes in Chicago. They will not be able to perform. That whole institution is not set up to allow quarterback success. And so it's hogwash. The whole conversation around it, as if he has any choice in the outcome here. He does not.
You know what's crazy is that we don't talk about our hogwash and meant to winning game ball, but my hogwash is the Chicago Bears, specifically Ryan Poles. The Chicago Bears, I've just come to the realization they will never reach the heights that people think they're capable of because of their GM, Ryan Poles. I've talked about him before, how bad he is, and I'm surprised he got an extension and wasn't fired. But I read that he has drafted 34 players since he's been there, and not one of them has made the Pro Bowl. Since he's been the GM, the Bears are 3-17 in the NFC North Division and 15-38 overall. And the guy that's running the Bears, Kevin Warren, he didn't do a good job running the Big Ten, and no one was sad that he was gone. So that's who's running the Bears, and that's the GM of the Bears. Yeah, I'm just out completely on the Bears for a total different reason, but kind of aligned with what you just said, Brian. That's
Yeah,
funny.
All right. I'm gonna
they're
just give mine.
institutionally failing.
Give mine to the Raiders. They do better. Last segment, minute to win it. As always, thanks everybody for listening, checking us out. Like, subscribe. Appreciate y'all rocking with us, guys.
Uh, well, Brian, we just close this out, so I'll go. My mental win is to get rid of preseason rankings in college football, because they influence the perception of teams. I remember last year, me and Brian were going through the rankings. The one thing that stood out to me was Michigan was ranked number 9 in the preseason poll, which I said is way too high. They won't be that good, and they finished the season unranked. This year, you look at the Texas Longhorns college football team; they are struggling offensively. They can't put away teams and haven't covered any of the spreads they played in all 3 games. So I happily took my 41 points with UTEP this past Saturday because Texas offense is terrible. UTEP doesn't even have a player that Texas would even bother recruiting. And Arch Manning is the highest paid NIL player, and he is absolutely awful. And they were ranked number 2 in the preseason rankings. If Arch Manning's name was Brian Glenn Cooper, he would already be benched. But, hype in football doesn't mean nothing. Eventually you have to play, but you got to get rid of the preseason polls, and do polls later in the season because it's a bunch of garbage.
There, B, bring us home.
Yeah, the only thing I'm going to say right now is life's got its foot up my backside, and I'm not prepared to have a conversation about so many of the things that are going on in the world and life and everything else. So I'm going to leave my minute to win it for another day.
Well, appreciate y'all listening. Sports Counterpoints podcast, September 16th, 2025. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.